If you're memorizing it as ようにする equals make sure and ようになる equals become, then this video is for you because I think it'll be much easier if you understand what these phrases actually mean. I've made videos on the other variations of よ, so feel free to check them out. But today, we're gonna start with an example. So it's a new year and now you wanna get ripped. You're planning to go to the gym every single day, but it's not gonna be easy. You're gonna have to put in a lot of effort. You have to make sure that this happens every day. So you say, ズミ先生、私は今年毎日ジムに行くようにします。I'll make sure to go to the gym every single day. おー、すごいね。三日坊主にならないようにしてね。Make sure to not give up in 3 days. Now let's say 3 months pass. You've been going to the gym every single day. You've changed. You're no longer the lazy bum that you were. So you come and tell me, 先生、三日坊主にならないで頑張ったよ。毎日ジムに行くようになった。先生、without becoming a 三日坊主, I've started going to the gym every single day. みんなどうですか？ジム行ってる。In simple words, the difference is that ようにする is the effort that you put into doing something. Like 今日から SNS をあまり見ないようにする。You're gonna put in the effort to not look at SNS too much. ようになる is what happened. It's the result. SNS やめたら好きなことがたくさんできるようになった。After stopping social media, I have become able to do a lot of things that I like. So these can be used separately, they can be used together, but just remember, ようにする is the effort, ようになる is the result. Now, if the translation is enough for you, then that's fine, but we're going to get into why ようにする means make sure and why ようになる means to become a certain way. So in my previous video, we learned how ように is used to describe how something is done, how a verb is done, and that's because に changes the whole ように phrase into an adverb. So for example, ラーメンを吸い込むように食べる。吸い込む is to inhale. In this case, 吸い込む is describing 食べる. So how are you eating? In what way are you eating? You're eating in a way that you're inhaling, like as if you're inhaling. わかりましたか? So keeping this in mind, let's look at our very first example. 毎日ジムに行くようにする. So this means I'm going to try to go to the gym every day. Here, 行く is describing する through ように, right? And する, we often translate it as do, but actually in Japanese, its usage is much broader because we also have phrases like ネクタイをする. So I don't want you to stick to just do, okay? Try to be a bit more flexible with the meaning of する. Here, する, you can think of it as describing everything that you're doing, the way you conduct yourself. Okay? It'll start to make a little bit more sense. So when you say 毎日ジムに行くようにする, you're saying that you're doing everything in a way that you go to the gym every day. Because when you put in a lot of effort into doing something, you also change your lifestyle to make that happen. Everything you do becomes aimed at making that one goal possible. So in this case, you're changing your lifestyle in a way that going to the gym every day becomes possible. So when you say ようにする, it means you're going to behave in a way that X can happen. Let's look at another example. 早く寝るようにする. You already know that this means I'll try to sleep early or I'll make sure to sleep early. But if you actually look at the individual components like 寝るようにする, then it's basically telling you that you're going to do things in a way that you go to sleep early. You're going to change your lifestyle a little bit so that going to sleep early becomes possible. Maybe you'll reduce screen time, you'll have dinner early, you'll shower early. That's the effort that you're going to do in order to make 早く寝る happen. わかりますか? So now what I want to do is I want you to try making some sentences based on my prompts. We'll do it together, okay? So how would you say, this year, I will try to read one book every month, and I want you to use ようにする. So let's start with something we already know. Every month は毎月ですね。で、one book は本一冊。This year は今年. Let's start with this year. 今年は okay. Every month 毎月. Okay. What will we do 毎月? One book. 本を一冊. Okay. So the reason why I did this first is because you know ようにする is going to come at the end of the sentence, meaning everything else will come in the beginning. 毎月本を一冊 okay, verb. Now we're getting to the juicy part. 読むですね。Okay. Now, you want to say that you will do things in a way that reading can be done. So, 毎月本を一冊読むようにするですね。Okay. Let's try another one. 次は I try to speak in Japanese with my bilingual friends. はい。Bilingual is just bilingual. だからバイリンガルの友達ですね。バイリンガルの友達。Feel free to pause and think about this. I'm just going to keep going. はい。So the try part is going to be ようにする。and speak は話すですね。So that's going to be the verb that goes with ようにする。Okay. バイリンガルの友達と日本語でOkay, now we're getting to the main part. 話すようにする。大丈夫そうですか？ Okay, じゃあ最後です。This one is when I see a cat, I make sure to pet it. みんな猫好き？書きますね。はい。Pet is, to pet, the action of petting is 撫でる。So that's the verb, meaning that's the thing that's going to go with ようにする。When I see a cat, 猫を見ると、はい、撫でるようにする。どうですか？分かってきましたか？ Is it starting to make sense? 次はようになるですけど、if you understand ようにする、then ようになる is going to be a lot easier. So to begin with, なる is to become, right? So ようになる means to become a certain kind of way, and we use this when there has been a change in the situation. So if we look at our very first example, 毎日ジムに行くようになった。行くように basically 行く is describing なった right? So what way has it become? It has become such a way that I go to the gym every day. When you use ようになる, there's also a very strong implication that it wasn't like this before, but now it is. You're not talking about trying anymore. Like with ようにする, you were talking about all the effort you're putting in. With ようになる, there's no implication of effort. You're just talking about the current situation. How are things right now? So, for example, previously we saw 早く寝るようにする, but let's say that you're doing that and the situation changes, and you have started sleeping early. That would be 早く寝るようになった. It's just how things are now. Maybe you put in effort before, maybe you did 早く寝るようにする before, but now it's become natural. わかりますか? Let's try making some more sentences. 例えば, the first one is, I've recently become able to eat 納豆. Okay, so since we have able, that's a hint that it's going to be a potential form. So able to eat, 食べられるですね。食べられる。So we already have the verb that's going to go with ようになる。So 食べられるようになった。簡単ですね。Okay, what have we become able to eat? 納豆。So だから最近私は納豆を食べられるようになった。OK。次です。次は I want you to say a black stray cat has started coming to our house recently. はい。stray cat は野良猫ですね。野良猫。黒い野良猫。で、in English, we say started, and often because of that, you think of using 始める, which is also fine. It would be correct, but what I want you to use here is ようになる。come ですね。来る。来るようになった。はい。じゃあ、最近、家に黒い野良猫が来るようになった。OK です。これ本当にあった話です。There used to be a stray cat who would come to my house and then she disappeared. I guess she died. 悲しい話です。はい。最後です。 I didn't play much games as a kid, but I started playing them a lot after becoming an adult. ちょっと長いですけど、with long sentences like these, I know it gets a bit confusing, but if we break them down, you'll be okay. じゃあ、the easy part, let's do the first part first. I didn't play much games as a kid. So we can say 子供の時 or 子供の頃。子供の時は okay, I didn't play much games. Much は the closest translation is あまり。ゲームをあまり so play は遊ぶですね。And with あまり you always use a negative verb. あまり遊ばなかった。Okay. And then we have a contrasting sentence. The second part is different from the first. So use けど、after becoming an adult. 大人になってから。大人になってから。a lot, right? So this is frequency. So you can say よく遊ぶ。はい。This is where the ようになる comes in, because the verb is 遊ぶ, right? So that's what has changed. That's what has become 遊ぶようになった。はい。どうですか？ようになるは分かったと思いますか？ And also ようにする。It's not hard at all, especially if you just use a translation, but I wanted to try and give you like a slightly deeper understanding of what the grammar actually means. So if you understand that, that will be perfect. じゃあ、let me show you a quick summary of everything we've covered today. はい、so the type of verb that you use with ようにする and ようになる are just a little bit different. One main commonality is you'd never use the continuous form and you never use the must form. Like you wouldn't say 食べますようになった or 食べますようにした。The politeness would always just come at the end. If you do the continuous form, like 食べているようにする, then that is a bit weird. It can mean something. It could mean like you're acting as if you're eating, but it's completely different. So yeah, just remember, no continuous form and no must form. In terms of the verbs that are used, plain form like 食べるようにする. If you're trying to avoid something, that would be 食べないようにする. Like make sure or try to not eat something. で、with ようになる, because with changes, often the change is about ability, becoming able to do something, right? So the potential form is very common. まあそんな感じですね。If you just do a little bit of practice, you'll get the hang of it. It's not a complicated grammar. Let's do a very short quiz. Just 2 questions. できるかな？はい。太るからストレス食いは何々々けどなかなか我慢できない。So some new words probably. 我慢 is to hold back, restrain yourself from doing something. ストレス食い。食い is, it means to eat, but in a little bit of a rude way. ストレス食い is like stress eating. はい。太るから。Because I'll get fat, stress eating は something けどなかなか我慢できない。It's very hard to hold back. So meaning this person is probably trying to not stress eat, but they're having a hard time. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. Okay, 答えはしないようにしている. So that means I am making sure, ようにしている is to make sure, しない. I'm making sure to not, right? するようになっている doesn't work because here in this sentence, in this situation, you can imagine that there is some sort of intent. We're not talking about something that just happened. するようにしている doesn't work because ストレス食いするようにしている means that he's making sure to stress eat. I don't think anyone wants to do that. はい、次です。これ2番ですね。Numbering mistake. 勉強が下手だと思っていたけど、スマホの時間を減らしたら、何々何々。勉強が下手。bad at studying だと思っていた。She thought she was bad at studying. But スマホの時間を減らしたら、減らす is to reduce. When she reduced her smartphone time, then 勉強するようにした。勉強しているようにした。勉強ができるようになった。はい。どれですか？ OK。勉強ができるようになった。So this means that even though like she thought that she was bad at studying, but when she reduced her smartphone time, she became able to study. So it's like a change in the situation, right? The other ones don't work because they use した、which is ようにする means make sure. The biggest indicator for this answer is actually the たら over here. because tada is a conditional and it shows you that this happened and then this happened, which is enough to show you that they're looking for a change, and naru is what shows you change. まあそんな感じですね。終わりです。どうでしたか？今日のレッスンは簡単でしたか？ If you found it useful, the like button is waiting for you. And if you want to see more like this, then the subscribe button is waiting for you. Next video is actually going to be the last in this Yo series. Finally, let me know if there's anything particular that you would like to see, and maybe you'll get to see that in the future. では今日はお疲れ様です。ありがとうございます。じゃあね。バイバイ。